Hi guys and welcome to my channel. It's Hila here, Saturday Night Stitch, and thank you so much for tuning in. Today's post, I got to thinking about sharing some non-fabric and non-sewing pattern, non-sewing magazine related things that I have bought recently. So the post is imaginatively titled 5 sewing related things that I have bought recently. So I'm into pattern drafting of late, so I've been doing quite a lot of pattern drafting. I've developed slopers. I've got a sloper developed using the Susie Fur Craftsy class. Craftsy or Blueprint, I have no idea what to call them now. They seem to have an identity crisis. And I've also developed a sloper using the Winifred Aldridge metric pattern cutting for women. And I've also developed a sloper using the Natalie Bray vintage pattern drafting book. So I've been accumulating quite a lot of slopers and a lot of working patterns. And I kind of got to thinking about how best to store them. And so I realized that I had to buy these jumbo pattern hooks, which I bought. I think it was from Eastman Staples because they sell a lot of things for fashion design students. And these jumbo pattern hooks, let's see. This is what they look like. It's basically a long piece of wire that's shaped into almost like a combination of a gigantic safety pin, because you are able to thread them through, do that, and then you can just hang them. So this is my sloper for making knit skirts. This is where I start from. And so I have this and then I just hang it up on the clothes rail, and it's pretty awesome. I've been using these for storing traced patterns as well, so I'm finding them quite useful. And what I do is with the traced pattern, I'll just use a paper clip to clip it on, or one of these alligator clips. And so I'll clip the pattern sheets, and then I'll just, because it's got these holes, I'll just slot that through, and the pattern sheet is hanging off of that. But I only do that with patterns that I plan on sewing in sort of like the medium term future. When I've sewn with something and I'm done with it, it goes into long-term storage. But yeah, so these have been very useful beyond what I bought them for, and I love them. They're very sturdy. They're very very light, very useful. The links will be in the description box down below. So this was sewing purchase number 1. Number 2 was a zipper repair kit. So I've got 5 kids and they need winter coats, and I tend to do a hand-me-down system. So by the time, the coats have gotten to their third owner, there are some zipper issues. Several coats I've had to replace the zipper completely because it's been gone, but the coat itself has been, still usable. So I just get the zipper. And in some cases, it's just required me to replace the zipper pull itself. So I have this little kit with different sized zipper pulls, and this is so very handy for fixing coat zippers, or indeed any zipper that's broken. And the problem that we have with the coats is when the kids hang them up on a door and it's near where the door actually closes, sometimes the zipper will get trapped between the door when it shuts, and that's what causes the zipper pull to break. And so I have these, and these are pretty awesome, and I needed to replace mine. The last set that I had bought over 7 years ago had finally run out, and so I ordered another one. They last ages, and it's kind of sewing related because zips have something to do with sewing. Good stuff. So that was sewing related purchase number 2. Sewing related purchase number 3 is Freight Check. I love Freight Check. I've been using this on every single buttonhole that I have made since I discovered it, since I can't even remember where I read it, but somebody suggested Freight Check and I went and I bought it straight away. And this thing, it lasts for ages, because the one that I had, it lasted me 6 years, because you don't need a lot of it. You just need, and I would always use like a pin, I just dip the pin inside, and then I just get enough to just cover the threads where I was going to cut in. And so finally, after 6 years, I had run out of my fray check, and so I replaced it with more fray check, except for last time, I think it was the hemline brand that I had, but this time I got Prim because I thought, well, why not try something else different rather than be using the same thing again for another 6 years. So I got this, and I'm happy because now that means that I can get on with doing my buttonholes. And I just realized this yellow matches my lemons. So, sewing related purchase number 3. Okay, what's number 4? I got some zippers on AliExpress. So these, I've always wanted to try these fancy looking zippers to use as exposed zippers on clothes for my daughters. But I just never got around to buying them. And the other day, I was just like, hang on, let me check out if I can buy these. And I went and I checked on AliExpress, and there they were. And I thought, let me try them out. And they arrived, and they look very good. I also like the fact that they've got this cute little zipper pull, because when you're sewing for kids and you're putting zippers in, you need to make sure that they've got easy to pull zipper pulls. And they look pretty good. They feel decent and solid, and I can't wait to use them. So I got a pack of, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It was 10, and I got the random colors because you could get just like the pinks or the oranges or the whatever, but I was like, let me just see. There was no particular plan as to what to sew with them, but just more like a this would be good for my own personal haberdashery. So I got those. Those are nice. Okay, so that was sewing related purchase at number 4. Okay, sewing related purchase at number 5 is a scissor sharpener. This was a bit of an impulse buy, and that's because I've been using the same dressmaking scissors since I started sewing about 7 years ago. In fact, let me just read. These are my Fiskars dressmaking scissors, and they're still going strong. Occasionally, what I do when I feel like they are a little bit blunt, I will use the aluminium foil trick, where you take a aluminium foil, or as the Americans like to say, aluminum. That's what my husband says. He calls it aluminum. And every time he says that, I just laugh because I'm like, no, it's aluminium. And he's like, pass me the aluminum, please, because he's half American. No, it's aluminium. But anyway, so I take aluminium foil, scrunch it up into a ball, and then I cut through the aluminium foil. And that's always done the trick in terms of sharpening this, and which is why I still use this 7 years on. But then I read about an actual scissor sharpener, and I was like, and it's Fiskars, and I've got Fiskars, and I love my Fiskars. So I was like, I'm going to show my Fiskars some love by getting them a scissor sharpener rather than subjecting them to the aluminium foil. Because to be honest with you, it takes a certain mindset to be able to cut into aluminium foil with your dressmaking scissors, especially when I completely freak out. I freak out whenever people use my dressmaking scissors to cut paper, which has happened a couple of times. And I'm still recovering from the trauma of that. But, you know, getting past that mental block whereby you're not supposed to use these on anything except fabric, but actually when you cut into aluminium foil is good for sharpening them. So that took me a while to get used to. So I thought that this would help reduce that anxiety that I have when I'm cutting through aluminium foil, just to get them a little bit sharper. And I have to say that I'm not sure that it does the job any better than aluminium foil. I mean, it looks better than aluminium foil, but yeah, it's very simple. So it's like a plasticky case, so it's very lightweight, very light. weight. Nothing to it. I could never throw my Fiskars around. Basically, what you do is you just, and then you're scissoring it. And that's supposed to sharpen it. And you're supposed to be doing this regularly. I don't. I've only done it once or twice when I've thought that my scissors hasn't been working well. But, you know, it's still... Hey, has anybody ever thought of, you know, instead of doing Fruit Ninja, Fabric Ninja? You know, there's that game. You can kind of like throw up scraps of... you sort of like throw down... Or how fast can you... Anyway, I love the sound of the scissors. But on the one hand, it does feel good that I'm looking after my scissors by getting it a nice little scissor sharpener thingy. But on the other hand, I think aluminium foil does the job just as well as this. I haven't tried using this on non-Fiskars scissors. How do you say scissors-eye? Scissors-eye? Yeah. So I don't know whether this is actually multifunctional, but for now it just lives in the drawer in my sewing kit, and I bring it out occasionally to do that. So these have been my 5 recent sewing related purchases that are not fabric or sewing patterns or sewing magazines over the last weeks or so. And I hope that you enjoyed the post. It's something different, and let me know in the comments down below if you've ever used one of these. Curious to hear what your experiences are. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video where I'm going to be eating an octopus. Until I see you next time, guys, happy sewing. Bye.